This is the Sports Psychology Podcast with Michael Seeley for Friday, July 15th. Stage 13 of the Tour de France from Bordeaux-Wasson to Saint-Étienne, France. 193 kilometers, much flatter than the last couple of days with only 3 climbs, maxing out at about a 6-kilometer long climb. So they're out of the Alps, and this is a time for the riders to rest. Historically in the Tour de France, when it hits the Massif Central part of France, there is less attacking, less aggression from the major teams. It is a bit of a détente, as they say. Historically, teams have kind of taken it easy through this part, resting after the Alps, and that is exactly what happened today. The big teams really content to let the breakaway go today. There was repeated breakaway attempts until a 7-man breakaway formed, and the leaders were basically keeping this in sight. No real major general classification threat in the breakaway, and so the breakaway was allowed to go. And the good news was Trek Segafredo got a win. I believe this is their first win of this year's tour. I haven't checked, but I think that's true. We had Quinn Simmons in there, the American 21-year-old, doing incredibly well in this Tour de France. As I mentioned yesterday, there's a lot of Americans really doing well in this year's tour, so road racing, cycling for the United States looks really promising. A lot of young, great riders. So today there's a 7-man breakaway of Mads Pedersen, the eventual winner of Trek Segafredo, and his teammate, Quinn Simmons. And there were some other riders in there as well. I'm keeping today's podcast brief because, frankly, I am tired from yesterday's Alps stage. I'm sure the riders are much more tired than I am, but yeah, yesterday was really epic. So if you get a chance to listen to my podcast from yesterday, coming up Alpe d'Huez, I had a good time with that podcast. But today I'll just keep it brief and just say that the psychology of the day, if I'm focusing on that, is knowing that if you are not on one of the big teams and you're not a big star, you can sneak away and people will not chase you because you're not a threat. And so you really have to take advantage of this. There's a lot of riders in the peloton who are targeting specific stages to basically have all chips in on that stage. They're just going to go for it and hope they're not going to get chased. And that's what happened today with 2 teammates from Trek Segafredo saying, hey, this is our day. Let's go for it. Things look good. Let's do it. And so Quinn Simmons did a lot of work for Mads Pedersen, who's a very good sprinter, and Pedersen won today. So that's it for today. Just keeping things simple. Plenty of tour left. A lot going on coming up. The general classification did not change. So that is the way it is for today, Friday, July 15th.